informing you right now what this video is about. I just don't feel comfortable saying this outside or anywhere, but it's about the P. Diddy case. My thoughts on it, and fighting for his innocence. Free P. Diddy or reduce his case, reduce his sentence. I already made an animation on it, so why should I be so ashamed about it? Well, here it goes. The basic line to get from all this is that hurt people in some case, some way. In that industry, in some cases, you get involved with people who have certain requirements of you. And I speculated as well as citing other videos where they say, and P. Diddy has claimed that he had to do things as well to get ahead, to seal the deal. Remember the record label he was on under the contracts he was under, the producers or the CEO, founder of the record label. He had to do things to satisfy who he was answering to. Then he learned of those traits and he carried it along. I'm not saying that a person that wouldn't have those desires even before he participated or coerced into it, but it happened the way it happened. He did what he did, and other celebrities probably was given or was coerced or pressured into it as well. Not trying to play just victim, but I understand how that feels. To be pressured or doing desperate things to survive, to get ahead. And that's what happened with P. Diddy. So they trickled down and he got Cassie involved, other people involved. So they're saying and accusing him of racketeering and sex trafficking, but he was a victim in it as well down the line. So if anyone, he's a victim himself because he had to sleep with other people. Whether it was partial coercion, desperation, part of his choice, consent, it was still some form of consent. You could have dissented and dealt with the consequences, lose the record deal, lose the whatever, the money. But you went on ahead and did it. The same thing go for Cassie. And later on, he found out that she was taught. She helped plan some of the events, whether he was being aggressive towards her or not, bullying her. It was sad. It's a toxic relationship, but she still chose to stay and kept going back on and off throughout the years. This is probably why her career wasn't as aggressively pushed, or maybe that was a P. Diddy's doing. We heard the stories, the rumors that he didn't really want to push her too much because he felt like she was his pride and joy, or a little bird, But either way, it was a difficult situation for the both of them, and P. Diddy wanted to do escapades like that, or like freak offs, whatever, with her. I say this to say that you do things for an escape. We all do in some cases. Or for a fantasy, for an escape, for freedom, from the routine, from the pressures of and responsibilities of life, and especially what he's under. Cassie too, probably. But to say that he's the one racketeering or sex trafficking, these people are consenting over the phone to do these things, including Cassie to some degree, whether it's pressured or not. She could have went with other people who fought for their freedom and ran and protested against him, or you know, attested against this man. She stayed for so long and orchestrated other people into it. So she was kind of a twisty, like Stockholm syndrome. That's probably what she had, but so you can say that about P. Diddy as well. Stockholm syndrome. It was just so much tied to him, to him obtaining what he obtained. So if he didn't do what that producers or whoever didn't want from, what if he didn't do what he was supposed to do, he wasn't gonna get what he have got. He wasn't going to be as successful as he is now, or what he's known for. So you got to understand, it's still hurting people. He was sex trafficked, and he went and victimized other folks. If you want to look at it like that. If you want to look at it like that, he was a victim making more victims. And she was a victim making more victims. If those consenting individuals want to identify as victims, it's just a messy game. That was just a messy ordeal, messy orgy. And it was sad, there's consequences for doing it. Negative. She getting sick because of it. He probably getting sick too. Doing drugs to cope with all the risks involved, and doing drugs to enhance the experience. You do the drugs for multiple reasons, and you would think they will get some help or try to be better, but it became a habit. It became a bad toxic habit, and it took Cassie to leave him and to move on from there. It finally took her that long, because she saw the good in him. She probably saw that he was a victim too, and that victim mentality, or that trauma bonding. She trauma bonded with him. She saw that he was so deep in it, he couldn't, or he was just too allured by the money, fame, and the power that he got. He couldn't leave it. He was so tied to it, and she tried hard to stick with him, to be there. And that's why he couldn't help but give her props and say, I thank you. All these years you stood by me. Him, for so long, tolerated so much out of love. But she knew he was struggling. And I'm going to leave it at that. Just free P. Diddy, man. It was DeSantis.